Can you enter Portland without a tunnel? Yep. What? Want more details? Okay, fine. If you live on the west side, like I do, you probably know the different ways of getting into Portland from the west side. The most common ways are, well, you take the MAX or you take Highway 26. Okay, so what's the point of this video? Let's say you're claustrophobic and just simply the thought of driving to Portland ramps your anxiety up. Not because you might meet some crackhead or something, but because you know you have to go through that dang tunnel. Let's think about this. On Highway 26, you have the worst congestion bottleneck in the history of ever in the universe. Probably. It's 3 lanes that all slow to 25 miles an hour, and each lane goes a separate direction. 2 of them go onto I-405, and 1 of them enters a downtown street. And this bottleneck is horrible. And of course, what comes right after the lanes all lock together and you're not supposed to change lanes, even though people try to anyways, it's very illegal. Right after you're forced to stay in either the left, middle, or right lane, there's a tunnel, the Vista Ridge tunnels. Now it's not too terribly long, you can see the other side of the tunnel as soon as you enter it, but like I said earlier, congestion is high, so you might be in this tunnel for longer than you would expect. But before the Vista Ridge Tunnel, there is an exit on Highway 26 that goes onto Jefferson Street in downtown Portland. So problem solved, you don't have to go to the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Oh wait, there's a tunnel on this route too. And it's longer. It's faster, but it's longer. Probably not ideal either. Okay, let's avoid Highway 26, and let's avoid taking the MAX through the Robertson Tunnel, because that's definitely too long of a tunnel. So let's think of some other long road. What's another long road that goes into downtown Portland, but also goes onto the west side, isn't a highway? I know, Barnes Road. Barnes Road and Burnside. That's a long road, and that does go onto the west side. Hey, you know, you could actually take a Line 20 bus, which goes on Barnes Road, and this might solve some things. All you have to do is get to Sunset Transit Center on the MAX, which requires smaller and much darker tunnels to pass through, but whatever. Let's say you drove, or let's say that those tunnels somehow didn't bother you, or whatever. And let's say you took the 20 bus out of Sunset and onto Barnes Road. Well, this bus eventually goes into Burnside Street and enters downtown. Oh wait, this has a tunnel too. It's really short, but it has a tunnel. But if you can handle that, this is absolutely an option I would recommend. I am not a medical professional here, so I don't want to sound like this is professional advice, but it's now time for something that I don't think I would attempt. If you haven't taken the MAX through the tunnel in a very long time, and you just want to see what happens, and you want to see if you can get through it because, oh, well, the best ways to get rid of claustrophobia is to pretty much subject yourself to it, I don't think I would try it with the Robertson Tunnel with the MAX. This tunnel goes on for over 6 minutes, and there's only 1 station, so if you have a meltdown, it's gonna be a while before you get out the other side. So I would recommend, if anything, just maybe lead up to this gradually. Let's say you wanted to do that. If you made it into downtown Portland somehow and got to the Goose Hollow MAX station and boarded a MAX from Goose Hollow and took it back 1 stop to Washington Park, the tunnel distance between those 2 stations is much shorter than when you're coming in from the Sunset Transit Center side. It's much shorter and much quicker. So if you really wanted to test and see how it all worked, then this could be an option for you. 2 more things to remember about that though. Number 1, if you wanted to check out the street level and actually go into the outdoor space, you will need to go into the elevators, another enclosed space. The elevators are very large though and travel quite quickly, so you'll be up there in no time. And another thing to remember, if you want to take the Max back into downtown, they go much slower for the last minute or more of the tunnel because, well, you're about to enter downtown Portland. It's best to go slow. Let's say you make it to Washington Park using that method, somehow driving into Portland, into Goose Hollow area, and taking the Max from Goose Hollow back to the zoo for the shorter tunnel distance. But let's say it didn't go over well and you just kind of wanted to head back and it was too much for you. There are ways to get back without having to take the train. It involves taking the free Washington Park shuttles, which operate, I believe, every 15 minutes and are free. Take it all the way to the end at Rose Garden and Japanese Garden, and then take TriMet's Line 63 back into downtown. It'll drop you off kind of between the Goose Hollow and Kings Hill stations, and that's easily walkable. So based on all of that, why do I claim that you can, in fact, enter downtown Portland without a tunnel from the west side? It's because there's another highway that enters Portland from a different side. Have you seen my videos on the 12 versus 94 versus 96 series? Barber Boulevard enters Portland and I-5 enters Portland without a tunnel. The only downside is that if you live in Hillsborough, Aloha, or even Beaverton, this method takes forever, but it is possible. So you want to enter Portland without a tunnel? Take Barber. I would recommend, depending on where you live on the west side, either taking transit to or maybe driving to the Tigard Transit Center or even the Barber Transit Center and taking transit from there into downtown Portland. That way you do not have to drive into Portland and it's very easy to just, well, get off the bus somewhere and head back if it's not your thing. Now, I actually forgot to mention this in the video, but there might be a situation that you come across where this happens. Yeah, this is Barber Boulevard exiting Portland. So, if you want to avoid this, you need to exit Portland on a bus route that actually is always on Barber Boulevard. Not one that goes on NATO Parkway and then goes through this tunnel to enter Barber. So the way you do that is from the transit mall, board something like the line 12 or 44, and that will get you on the stretch of Barber that you want, which will exit Portland without a tunnel. If you're willing to drive that extra mile, or extra couple miles, to Tualatin, or just simply go to Tualatin and park at the Tualatin Park and Ride, and it's a weekday, then you can also take the Line 96 bus, which goes on I-5 and takes just 20 minutes, depending on traffic, to go from Tualatin Park and Ride into downtown Portland, thanks to the fact that it goes on I-5. Last note. If you're in downtown Portland and take a Line 58 bus, which goes on the Sunset Highway to enter and exit Portland, it will go through that Jefferson Street tunnel going into Portland that I was talking about. Before the Vista Ridge tunnels, there's an immediate exit right beforehand that goes through another slightly longer tunnel. And that's how it enters Portland. But when you exit Portland going the other way, there is no tunnel. But as soon as you leave Highway 26, you go on like this side road, and then there's a tunnel that goes underneath Highway 26, and then it turns into Canyon Road. So it may not seem like there's a tunnel when you exit Portland, and in fact there's not, but when you leave Highway 26 and you serve the stop at Skyline, yeah, there is a tunnel. If you'd like to see that in video form, I filmed a Line 58 video quite a while ago now of the westbound ride, and you can see what I'm talking about. It might be worth giving some of these videos a watch over and over and over again for tunnel sections somewhere. Let's say you wanted to see how long the tunnel is for Vista Ridge tunnels with the Line 58 going in through the Jefferson Street tunnel thing. Or let's say you wanted to see how long Barnes Road and Burnside Road's tunnel is, so you watch and see where it is over and over again, and you see how long the tunnel is. That way when you try it for yourself, you know exactly how long the tunnel is and exactly where the tunnel is, so you're not going to be surprised in any way. It might be worth experimenting, maybe it's not. Again, I am not a medical professional, and I don't want to be perceived as somebody who is. So, this is just out of my head. I am not claustrophobic, but I know people who are, and so I can't really speak from first-hand experience. But if nothing else, I thank you for watching this video and having a little thought experiment of, wait, yeah, there is a way to get into Portland without a tunnel. I thank you for watching this, and I will see you next time.